Okay, we are here with Gary Sandy, a candidate for the 2010 November election of the Yolo County, Yuba County Yuba Community College Board of Trustees,
That's
which
correct.
includes the northern part of Yolo County.
That's correct.
Woodland. Gary, can you give us a little bit the brief summary of your background and qualifications for this particular office?
Well, I grew up in the region. I'm very familiar with it. I've lived in it now virtually all my life. I've been very active in the public schools for a number of years, everything from a post as a PTA chairperson at my children's elementary school to member of site councils and co-chair of Pioneer High School's site council, which is located in Woodland. I also work for a university and so am quite familiar with higher education issues. Woodland Community College, and there's also going to be a center in Williams and Colusa County, are vitally important aspects of the community. They provide not only education for people who want to earn an AA or transfer to a four-year institution, but they also provide invaluable job training and economic development programs for the local community. Consequently, in the wake of a recession such as we're experiencing now, community colleges become really pivotal outposts for enabling people who are suffering with the economy to gain a renewed foothold and have some reason for hope. So consequently, the Board of Trustees oversees the operation of the Yuba Community College District, and I'd like to be a part of that. I think I can provide leadership and support.
So, if elected, what would be your top priorities, issues that you would address? What do you think are the most important issues, not only for the Yuba Community College District, which is very important, but also community colleges in general?
Thank you. I appreciate that question. My main emphasis would be on restoring on classrooms and student services. The cutbacks have been significant, so the amount of classes being offered has been reduced. Library hours have been reduced. The computer center is no longer open as long as it was. And as a result, students are having trouble accessing services and getting the information and the service that they need. So my number one priority would be the classroom and student services. My second priority would be the job training and economic development programs that I mentioned earlier. And third, and it's not as equally important, but I think it's important given the context of what's occurring in the Yuba Community College District, I would do what I could to resist efforts to boost executive pay to unreasonable levels. One of the current tragedies that's occurring in the district is the district's been laying off personnel, teachers, and classified staff, and at the same time tried to give a $30,000 raise to the district chancellor. I'm against moves like that, and my hope is that if I'm put on the board, I'll be able to be a voice of reason for stabilizing the district and bringing a renewed emphasis back on education in the classroom and on the benefits for students and faculty.
One final question, and then I'll open it to have you ask questions of what you might want to ask the Yolo County Democratic Party. In recent years, the issue of pensions and salaries, different things have been brought up in terms of community colleges, universities, it's in K through 12 teachers, and oftentimes they're used as a kind of a scapegoat position for those positions. What would be your view about the pensions and those type of issues of, the benefits for the mainstream teachers?
Well, I certainly support benefits for employees. We're in a period here of transition, it appears to me, where you have one set of employees, which are people who've worked there a number of years, who have in effect been provided with a contract for their benefits, and that contract needs to be honored, which is to say that someone who has 10, 15 years in, you can't simply go back and say, oh, now I want to renegotiate those terms with you. That's not going to happen. And I think that's a pretty lock solid position on that. New people coming in I think we'll probably have to enter restructured programs where they pay and invest more into them than people of my age would have had to. I think in many ways that's unfortunate, but it's a recognition of the current realities of our economy. I certainly deplore the many attempts which you just cite to make public employees the scapegoats of many of these issues. It's not their fault. And in fact, these programs are in place often to compensate for the lower wages they make at their jobs. So across the board, I think that we need to be looking at restructuring those programs in such a way that they're sustainable, which is really the issue anymore. But let's face it, this is a solvable problem. If people look at it soberly and adopt common sense measures, this problem of public debt and pension debt can be solved. But this fear-mongering and the things that you're pointing out around the issue simply do nothing to solve the problem. I want Democrats, the Democratic Party, to be a party of problem solvers, not a finger-pointing party that does nothing but complain and criticize.